Some encounters are too perfect, too precise, too deeply stirring to ever be called coincidence. It feels as if the fabric of the universe itself bends slightly, weaving two lives together at exactly the right moment, under exactly the right sky. There is no forcing, no planning, only a quiet inevitability, like two rivers destined to meet at the ocean's mouth. You feel it not only in your mind, but in your bones, in your breath, in that ancient part of you that remembers something your conscious mind has forgotten. Some people are not accidents. They are appointments made by your soul, long before this lifetime. Comment: I trust the signs of the universe. If you believe this truth, Carl Jung once said, what is not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate, and in the realm of love, fate often moves in whispers rather than shouts. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it does not always crash into your life with fireworks and thunder. Sometimes, it simply removes the barriers. It lets the right conversation slip between strangers. It lets the right glance ignite a forgotten knowing. It weaves synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, into your path, so subtly that if you are not paying attention, you might mistake them for nothing at all. But your soul notices. It always notices. Often, you will find that these signs appear when you least expect them, during the moments when you have finally let go of your grasp, when you are simply living, breathing, existing without demand. It is then in the open spaces of your being that the universe pours in its answers. Two paths cross. Two dreams find their echoes in one another, and the feeling is not desperate or needy. It is quiet, vast, and profoundly familiar. It feels like finding a home you did not know you were searching for, hidden within another's eyes. But to recognize these signs, you must be willing to listen beyond logic. You must be willing to hear with your heart. Jung's concept of synchronicity teaches us that the inner world and the outer world are reflections of each other. When your inner landscape becomes fertile for love, the universe mirrors that readiness externally. It's not magic, it's alignment. Your deepest unconscious desire for growth, connection, and awakening calls forth the one whose soul speaks the same silent language. The first sign the universe often sends is an inexplicable familiarity. You meet them, and it is as if you have known them forever. Not in the way of shared memories, but in the way a river knows the bed it runs across, intimately, instinctively, without needing to explain itself. Conversations feel less like discovery and more like remembrance. You are not building a bridge, you are walking across one that has always existed, waiting for both of you to notice. Jung would call this the meeting of two souls, whose unconscious archetypes recognize one another immediately, transcending the rational mind's need for proof. You will also notice how time behaves differently around them. An hour feels like a moment feels like an eternity. This distortion is not illusion. It is the soul's way of signaling that something sacred is unfolding. In Jungian terms, the outer experience of timelessness reflects an inner activation of deeply embedded archetypes, patterns of meaning buried in the collective unconscious. You are not merely speaking with another person, you are speaking with something older than memory itself, something destined, something designed. Another sign is the sudden appearance of meaningful coincidences, synchronicities that seem to conspire to bring you together. A friend mentions their name just as you are thinking of them. You dream of them before a chance meeting. You hear a song that speaks the words you have not yet dared to say. Jung taught that synchronicity bridges the internal world and external reality, signaling that what is unfolding carries profound significance. These signs are not to be chased or manipulated. They arrive organically, asking only that you remain open, humble, and attentive. But there is also something else, a quiet stirring of your deepest fears. Meeting someone you are truly meant to meet does not only awaken your love, It awakens your defenses. Old wounds, long buried, begin to tremble under the surface. You may feel a fear of losing them before you even know them. You may fear your own unworthiness. The universe, through such a connection, invites not only romance, but healing, a confrontation with the shadows you have long ignored. And it is here that the real work of love begins. When the universe wants two souls to meet, it also makes space for the mirror. And by mirror, I do not mean only beauty or admiration. I mean the reflection of your hidden self, the parts you celebrate and the parts you try to forget. This person, this destined encounter, will not only touch your dreams, but will also awaken your unfinished stories. Your projections, what Carl Jung called the unconscious transferring of inner images onto others, will rise to the surface. You will see in them your hopes, your unmet needs, your wounds, longing for closure, and they will see the same in you, often without either of you fully realizing it at first. Love, when guided by destiny, is not always soft at the beginning. It can feel disorienting, even overwhelming, because it stretches you beyond your familiar patterns. You may be drawn to their light, but frightened by the vulnerability they summon within you. Jung spoke of the anima and animus, the inner feminine in man and the inner masculine in woman. These sacred energies stir within when a destined soul appears, pulling you toward wholeness, but also revealing where you are still divided inside. This is why the emotions are so intense. It is not just another relationship, it is a call home to yourself. Another sacred sign is the magnetic pull that defies all logic. You may try to convince yourself that you are imagining it, that you are reading too much into glances and gestures. You may attempt to retreat into reason. But reason cannot explain the feeling that you are somehow unfinished without this meeting. It's not a dependency, it's not desperation. It's a quiet but unrelenting certainty that your story and theirs were meant to intersect, and that something essential will be born from that crossing, whether for a season or for a lifetime. And yet, the universe respects free will. Even when destiny weaves its signs all around you, the choice remains yours. The universe may set the stage, open the door, illuminate the path, but you must choose to walk it. This is the mystery and the mercy of it. Love is not imposed, even by fate. True union is sacred, because it is chosen, again and again, beyond fear, beyond projection, beyond shadow. It is the conscious act of two souls meeting not in need, but in truth. Another sign the universe sends is found in the effortless unfolding of connection. When you are aligned with someone you are meant to meet, things often move without the usual resistance. The conversations glide, the silences comfort. Even the misunderstandings, when they arise, become bridges rather than walls. You don't feel the need to force the bond or control its pace. Jung spoke of individuation, the journey toward becoming whole. True connection does not distract you from this journey, it deepens it. A destined relationship feels like an invisible hand, gently guiding you toward more of yourself, not less. You will also feel strangely seen, not just for who you show yourself to be, but for who you are when you stop trying. The masks fall away. The persona, the outer face we wear for the world, softens under their gaze. You find yourself revealing thoughts you rarely voice, exposing dreams you normally protect. Jung taught that relationships can help dissolve the rigid structures of the ego, allowing the authentic self to emerge. With a destined soul, you experience a sacred permission to be real, to be whole, to be unfinished and still loved. Synchronicities will increase as the bond deepens. Little things at first, thinking of them and then receiving a message, encountering a sign that reminds you of a conversation, feeling their presence in a moment of solitude. But over time, these signs grow louder, not because you are imagining them, but because your soul is more attuned, to the language of meaning. The external world mirrors your internal journey. Jung believed that when you follow the path of your own soul, life begins to respond in kind, offering symbols, messages, and moments that align with your deepest truths. But the most powerful sign of all is this: transformation. If the connection is truly meant for your soul's growth, it will not leave you as it found you. It will call forth your courage. It will awaken your tenderness. It will ask you to heal places you have kept buried. A destined relationship, even if it tests you, ultimately expands you. It leads you closer to your true self, not further away. And in this unfolding, you will realize the universe did not send this person to complete you. It sent them to awaken what was always within you, waiting for its time to rise. When two souls are meant to meet, life seems to orchestrate their collision with tender precision. Obstacles dissolve or realign. Paths cross without warning, and what once seemed impossible quietly becomes inevitable. It is not because life has no challenges, it is because something greater is guiding the unfolding. Jung spoke of the self, the deep, unconscious center of being, always drawing us toward wholeness. And sometimes, another soul becomes the catalyst the self uses to propel us forward. In their presence, your story accelerates, not because you need saving, but because you are ready to become more than you have been. In these relationships, emotional intensity is almost inevitable. You will find yourself feeling deeper, dreaming louder, longing more fiercely. Not because you are weak, but because your soul recognizes an opportunity for transcendence. The fear of loss, the exhilaration of connection, the terror of vulnerability, all of it surges to the surface at once. Jung understood that these eruptions are not signs of chaos, but of opportunity. When strong emotion surfaces, it is a signal that the unconscious is stirring, that something dormant is asking to be healed or embraced. At times, it may feel as though the relationship itself is a crucible, an alchemical vessel where both light and shadow are intensified, burned away, and reforged. You may encounter struggles that test your patience, wounds that test your strength. Yet even in these moments there is a quiet knowing beneath the surface. This is not destruction, it is transformation. True destiny does not hand you comfort, it hands you the opportunity to become vast enough to hold real love. The signs were never promising ease, they were promising awakening. And so you learn that destiny is not a finished script, but an invitation. The universe can bring two souls to the river's edge, but it cannot make them drink. The encounter is sacred, but the bond must be chosen, nurtured, deepened by conscious will. To recognize the signs is one thing, to honor them with action is another. When you walk through the door destiny opens, you are not surrendering your freedom. You are stepping into a deeper kind of freedom, one where love is not a cage, but a mirror, a bridge, a calling toward your highest self. Sometimes the most undeniable sign that the universe has brought someone to you is not found in the bliss, but in the breaking. Not a breaking that destroys you, but a breaking that reveals you. Old defenses crack, outdated dreams fall away, long-held fears loosen their grip. And though it may terrify you at first, somewhere deep inside, a quieter voice whispers, "This is necessary." Carl Jung taught that wholeness is born through confrontation with the unconscious, and often it is through love that we are finally brave enough to face ourselves. You may find that with this person, your deepest patterns rise into view, patterns you thought you had buried or outgrown. Fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough, they all surface, not because you are broken, but because the soul, sensing the possibility of true connection, demands healing. The universe does not send perfect relationships, it sends sacred mirrors. And when destiny brings two souls together, it is not to indulge a fantasy, It is to offer a chance to step into authenticity, to be seen, flawed and luminous, and loved anyway. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the ego recoils, when the wounds scream louder than the love. You may question the signs, question your worth, question the path itself. This too is part of the journey. Jung believed that individuation, true psychological and spiritual maturity, often requires enduring the tension of opposites, the tension between desire and fear, between hope and despair. And when the bond is real, it will not demand perfection from you. It will simply ask you to stay present, to yourself, to the other, to the unfolding mystery between you. And as you stay, humbly, courageously, something beautiful begins to happen. Love ceases to be a battlefield or a fantasy. It becomes a shared path of awakening. Not two halves completing each other, but two souls walking side by side, honoring the mystery that brought them together, honoring the growth that emerges from every joy, every challenge, every quiet, sacred moment of choosing each other anew. In the end, the truest sign that the universe wanted you to meet someone is not in how the world shifts around you, it's in how you shift within yourself. It is the way your soul stretches wider, your heart beats bolder, your mind softens toward possibilities you once feared. It is not only that you have found another, it is that you have found more of yourself through them. The synchronicities, the magnetism, the dreams, they are real. But the greatest miracle is the transformation that takes root inside you, quiet but unstoppable, like spring breaking through winter's frost. Destined connections are not here to fix you, they are here to awaken you. They call forth your deepest strength, your highest tenderness, your most sacred truth. They are less about comfort and more about expansion, less about fantasy and more about becoming. Carl Jung understood that the soul's journey is not about finding the missing piece outside of ourselves. It is about recognizing that wholeness was always within us, waiting for the right mirrors to reveal it. The right person does not complete your story, they inspire you to write a new one, braver and more beautiful than before. And sometimes the universe sends these souls for only a season, a brief blinding meeting that shifts the course of your life forever. Other times they stay, growing with you, weathering storms with you, building a life that reflects the mystery that first wove your hearts together. There is no formula, no guarantee, but there is always meaning. Even the encounters that seem fleeting leave fingerprints on the soul, reminders that you are part of something vast, intricate, divinely orchestrated beyond your understanding. And if you are brave enough to trust it, it will lead you exactly where you are meant to be. So if you have met someone and felt that indescribable knowing, that deep, quiet certainty, honor, move with it, grow with it. Let the signs guide you, not into fantasy, but into the fierce, beautiful work of love. Because love, real love, is not something you find. It is something you recognize. And when the universe speaks through a glance, a coincidence, a dream, the soul remembers what the mind has long forgotten. You were never alone in this journey. You are always being led, loved, and called back to yourself. If you've made it this far, drop 100 in the comments. It shows you are part of the 1% that's improving every single day.